Nicola, how are you?
Hey Ron, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Tell me a little bit about what you speak about.
Well, I help clients leverage change and turn uncertainty into opportunity.
It's incredible. And where are you located?
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto. Okay, cool. Cool. It's not very far from the US.
No, and
So,
of course, most of my clients are in the US, so it's the
yep,
biggest, highest market. So
yep. And are you actively speaking now? How long have you been speaking on this topic?
about 8 years.
That's cool. And you do a lot of gigs now, or are you part-time, full-time? How do you think about it?
I'm full time, but I'm working on my second book. So currently I do about 15 to 20 a year.
Okay, cool. And those are conferences or small groups?
Whatever the client is happy to pay for, I'm happy to be there.
I understand. I understand. And how long have you been with SpeakerHUB?
Oh, a bunch of time, actually, but it's never been useful once so far. So, like, yeah,
Okay, so
probably
we'll
since
try
the
to we'll try
beginning.
to we'll try to help you. We'll help you with that because we made a lot of changes. I'm Ron. I'm the new owner of SpeakerHUB. So we made a lot of changes over the last 4 months to make it a lot easier for you to get booked on different stages. Traditionally, SpeakerHUB was just a directory, right? It was like LinkedIn for speakers, right? And if you were to imagine putting your profile in LinkedIn, it doesn't guarantee you a job just because you have a LinkedIn profile. That was kind of like SpeakerHUB, right? But if LinkedIn gives you the tools like Sales Navigator and things like that, that makes it a lot easier for you to find the right job because you can reach out to the right people who are hiring. And we've added a tool similar to that to SpeakerHUB that allows you to reach out to up to 4 million people.
Yeah, I'm not sold out.
No, 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 you don't.
Like, so
And
the
I don't
problem
expect you
from
to be.
my point of view is that, I had something like 30,000 profile views and not a single inquiry, right?
Mhm.
So on LinkedIn, I get inquiries all the time without me having to reach for people because my LinkedIn profile is rock solid. My SpeakerHub profile was also rock solid. I was paying membership, etc., etc. And I stopped, like, last time I looked at it was a few years ago, but it had like 30,000 profile views and not a single inquiry. And to me, what that told me was that uh, there are no, so in my budget range, like, there are no people who are looking to spend the kind of money that I charge on that platform. And that's why I stopped paying my monthly fees.
No, no, no. I
Right.
totally
So if
respect
you
that.
have 30,000 views, you would expect at least some inquiries, if not closed gigs,
Yeah.
right?
So
So,
I think here's what I just took over Speaker Hub in June. So I don't know what's happened in the past. So I apologize if that happened to you, right? And
oh, it's
we'll try
okay.
to
It's not your
make that
fault.
up to you. But what I will say is I know what other people did. And so in the past you had the social media profiles were public and you didn't have to be registered to see the person's social media profile. So what people were doing is that they would go to find you in the search engines. 1 second, Ange. Let me make you a co-host. I'm sorry. Um, they would find people in the search engines and just reach out to them via social, right? So we recently turned that off because we're like, look, if you're going to talk to our people, you should talk to them inside of our system, not just come on and click on their Twitter or their LinkedIn and go and talk to them someplace else, and we don't get the credit for it. So that was one of the first changes we made the first week was to force people to register to talk to folks because in the past they could just come on, see your profile, click your LinkedIn and go to your LinkedIn, or click your Twitter and go and talk to you on Twitter and never say I saw you on SpeakerHub, right? So we changed that the first week I took over the company because I'm like, we're not doing that. That's it's not fair. because we wouldn't get the credit that we deserved. But are you doing any outreach at all? Hey, Dave, nice to meet you. Glad you joined us. Are you doing any outreach at all, Nicola?
Not really. I'm going to do outreach if I feel like I need more work. I mean, I'm kind of shaping up for stepping up one level up in terms of charging fees, but I want to be comfortable first at sort of like being the best person at a certain level of money. So instead of like being like everyone else, I want to be the highest value speaker. Let's say my price is 12,500. So I want to be the highest value people can get at 12,500. Once I feel like I can do 15 or 20 and I can deliver more than other people deliver at that value, then I'm going to step up there with the goal. So with the goal of just being the best value for people. And I'm getting closer to a lot of clients are telling me that. So we'll see.
Okay, no, that's cool. Yeah, so I want to welcome everyone here to our daily 1 hour Ask Me Anything. I'll try to help you session. I'm Ron. I am the head of product at SpeakerHUB. Over the last 4 months, we've made a lot of changes to the product. We are doing these daily meetings as a way to add more customer service to SpeakerHUB. Andras did a great job of building the audience, but I think we want to be a bit more active and more forward marketing and customer service, like teaching centered about how to get booked. So that's what these sessions are about. We meet every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. Feel free to hop in for this 1 hour session. And this is where we will answer any of your questions. I appreciate people like Nicola, who's willing to give us the blunt and honest feedback about his past experience. That's what we use to make it better, right? I read 3,500 of those, right? So I looked through the last 3,500 people that got accounts, and we asked them why, and they wrote in very similar things. So we get that, and we have, I believe that our new system, which we're calling SpeakerHUB Pro, adds a dimension to the speaking business that has never been seen before, which is the opportunity to add podcast guesting, add small groups, conferences, and press coverage all together to make the complete thought leader platform, not just for speaking or not just for podcasting or not just for media. We want to give you access to all of that here in the new SpeakerHUB. So, Claudine's good to see you. Dave, I saw you on camera for about 2 minutes and then you popped off. I'm open for any types of questions. If y'all just want me to walk through what the new speaker looks like, I'm willing to do that too. But I'm open for questions. So floor is you guys.
I was just curious more about the AI that was in the subject line.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much about that, and just thought, I'm open to your thoughts on that, how you're using AI for that purpose.
Yeah, Dave, do you have the new SpeakerHUB account?
Actually, I
currently?
don't. I just got an email from you.
Okay, yeah, no, that's perfect, right? So I'll show you what we're doing. Let me pull this up here, close out some of these windows. I got 1,000 things open. And all right, so 1 second. But that's a good question, right? So SpeakerHUB traditionally was just a directory for speakers, right? And I'm going to open that up here too so we can see it, right? Log out. I'll show you. All right. So traditionally, SpeakerHUB was this directory where someone like Nicola or Dave had a profile. So let's type in Nicola Danilov, right? Did I say your name right?
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't touched this in a couple of years at least, but.
Right. So this is Nicola's profile, which is great. Looks good, right? And the value of that was when someone came in and they typed in don't know why my thing is going to name sheet. Nikola Danilov here. There he is. Brings up his smart speakers web. I guess that's some ad or whatever, right? And the idea was that if someone were to search for you, they should find your SpeakerHUB profile, right? And it has all of his different speakers bureau. Let's put speaker behind it and see if SpeakerHUB comes up. Yep, there's the SpeakerHUB photo, and then his SpeakerHUB profile is going to be on here. Usually it's at the top. It's not. He has a bunch of other press, so we're down here at the bottom, which is good because you really, really, really know your stuff. I see you're pretty popular, Nicola. But that's the purpose of the profile. It was to provide a way for people to find you in the search engines, right? But what we did is that we added some other things to that because that wasn't enough, right? So having a profile was one thing, but there's 4 million opportunities. There's 3.5 million podcasts. There's 45,000 conferences. There's 209,000 associations, and I think 170,000 press opportunities. So we added all of that data to the new SpeakerHUB. We also built a CRM so that you could track those outreaches. And then as Dave was asking about, we added ChatGPT to help match you with the right opportunities and to send those pitches. So let me show you that. So Dave, I want to use you as our guinea pig here. Okay, is that fair?
Sure, that's fine.
All right, cool. So I'm going to put your name in, Dave Davlin. And what's your company's name, Dave?
Just Speaker Dave Davlin.
Okay. And where are you located?
I'm in San Marcos, Texas. It's between Austin and San Antonio, so if that makes a difference or not.
Okay, no, that's fine. And as speaker, are you a coach, consultant?
Keynote speaker.
Okay. And if you had to sum up what your audience walks away with in one sentence, I help this group to do this thing, what would that be?
I energize the event and inspire the individual.
Inspire them to do what?
Inspiration to the individual, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And you have a website?
Yeah, davedavlin.com. I'm usually the guy that kicks it off or ends it.
Okay, cool. And let's see if I can find you on LinkedIn real quick.
I think it would just be Dave Davlin after the LinkedIn.com.
All right, I want to confirm just in case if it has some extra numbers or something on there. You know how it can be sometimes. This you right here, Vice President at Debo, or which one?
The one
Dave
right
Davlin,
above.
there's a lot of them in Texas.
Yeah, I'm the first one right there.
There's 3 of them. That's funny.
I don't know who those imposters are.
And they're in Texas too, which is weird. Like Debo, Texas, Wachichachi, Texas.
Yeah, Dieball and Waxahachie. I don't know who those people are.
These are your cousins, man. We just started a family reunion for you.
Yeah, they may be. I don't know.
All right. No, that's cool. So I'm going to hit save. And then with the new SpeakerHUB, we're going to go out and look at your profile, and the AI is going to write a bio for you, right? And then we're going to use that bio in order to match you with the right speaking gigs and the right podcast. So if you give it a couple of seconds, there it is. You can see in 15 seconds, as a seasoned keynote speaker based out of San Marcos, I'm Dave Davlin. My mission is to energize and galvanize every event I'm a part of. With years of experience on the speaking circuit, I've developed a unique blend of humor, storytelling, and motivational strategies, all aimed at leaving a lasting impact on the audience. My dynamic, is this accurate or no?
Yes.
Perfect, right? So in 30 seconds, we were able to generate this for you. Now, we can start looking at different podcasts that we think you would be a great guest on to talk about what you do, or different associations that you can go on You can say, I want to go talk to the insurance association in a particular state. You type that in, we bring up those insurance associations. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? If you wanted to go talk at insurance conferences, we bring them all up. You can go talk at those conferences. So basically, if I wanted to go talk at the life insurance conference, the ACLI, I click on it. There's my description. I add it to a list that I create, and I click pitch. We go out, we verify we have the right information for that contact, and in 15 seconds, a full pitch that's customized to your bio, and that event is written. That's what we're talking about with AI.
Now, when that pitches, what email does it go from?
Yep. So I'll show you that in 1 second. Would you say this pitch would be accurate? Oh, dude, I just deleted it. 1 second. It'll rewrite it for me. But would you say that the pitch would be something that you would send? Because if it's not something you would send, doesn't matter about the email address, right? You want to make sure it's at least something you would send to the people, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
Right. And you can always go in and make edits, right? So you can see I can add whatever I want to add to it, right? And the email comes directly from you. They don't know we exist. So you connect your own emails to it. You can see I'm sending from my Gmail and my Hotmail. So we're just the invisible man in the machine. We don't put sent by SpeakerHUB at the bottom or any of this. This goes directly to the event organizer's inbox.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. How many associations and conferences do you think are in your system?
Well, I can say for a fact we have 45,068 conferences and 209,901 associations all around the world. So if someone wanted to go on something in Egypt, they type in Egypt and we bring up 47 associations that are in Egypt that they can reach out to. This is worldwide. 60% of SpeakerHUB's users are not in the US, so we have to be mindful of that with the data that we pull and that we try to provide to you all so that we can be of service to everyone.
And this is all pretty new, right?
Yes, this has been available to the public for a month. I think October 15th, not even a month.
Okay.
All right. So let me give you a little bit of background on that. So this is new under the SpeakerHUB brand for the last 15 days. I ran a SpeakerHUB competitor for 5 years called PitchDB, and we bought SpeakerHUB June the 1st, right? So we've been doing this using a version of this system for over 5 years. Last year we sent over 500,000 emails, to event planners, podcast hosts, with about a 60% open rate on those emails.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, one question I did have, if you send this out and it goes to a certain number, like for Outlook, will cut you off after 200 or 300 a day or something. Does that go against when it goes out from your email address? Will that cut you off? Yeah.
So most people aren't sending 300 a day. If you look at the Gmail limits, I think Gmail for a basic Gmail account, this is directly from Gmail, not me theorizing. From a basic Gmail account, it's 500 emails a day, right? But if you have like a paid Gmail account, you can send up to 2,000 a day. Most people aren't sending that much from our system though, right? Okay. The average person is probably sending 25 pitches a day if they're sending a decent amount. And I can show you that because we see it. Go here to branding kit. You can see Israel has sent 127 this week, which is 25 a day.
Okay.
Right. Garrett has sent 105 so far this week. Right. Make sense?
Yes.
Thoughts and feedback. I'm curious.
I've been doing this for about 10 years. The speakers are always asking me, how do you do it? I said, well, you find events and contact events. And if you can use AI to do it quicker, that's what interested me when I got your email.
Yep. Yeah. We would love to have you sign up for a trial. I mean, you know, you can try it out, send some pictures, see if you like the way that the system flows, and you know, we would love to have you as a customer. We actually have a 1-year money back guarantee. If you use it for a year and you're not getting any results, I'll just give you your money back, man. I'm not gonna fight with you. I've worked with thousands of speakers, and I got the utmost confidence in our system.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Can I jump in with a bunch of
of
questions?
course. Yeah. This is open. This isn't a monologue. It's wide open.
So let me ask a few specifics on the details, and then I'll ask about the big issue. But so you said 60% open rate. What's the kind of like return rate or engagement rate or booking rate, if
Yep.
you have any stats on that?
Yeah, so we actually don't get involved in it. And I'll tell you why we don't. If Barack Obama or Donald Trump uses our system, the numbers are skewed. If someone who's just starting, they say, I don't want to do any podcasts, I don't want to start small, I'm going to pitch the highest paid conferences, their stats are going to be terrible, right? So what we basically say is whatever your outreach stats were before you met us, they're going to be the same. The only difference is we saved you the time of going out to each website and trying to find the contact information, right? So that's where we're different. We're really in the time saving business. So, you know, I track the numbers that I gave you were from our done for you clients that pay us $3,000 a month for us to send the pitches for them. So I can see all of their data because I know that since they're paying us to send the pitches every month, the pitches get sent, right? Since they're paying us to reply, I know what the reply rates are, right? So I can track all of that for our done for you clients. It's the same data, just a different person pushing the buttons.
Okay, so what's the pricing like then? You just said 3,000 a month for the.
That's on done for you. That was us being their speaker VA, right? Like we were actually hopping in and doing the. Stacy, good to see you. The pricing is really simple. It's broken down for different speakers at different levels. So here, I'll show you here. So if someone is brand new and they've never spoken before, they should probably use our exploring package, which only gives them access to podcasts. They haven't tuned up their speaking skills enough to try to do a conference like you, Nicola, right? If they're comfortable with their message, they're doing small groups, they should probably be on our emerging package, getting more speaker reels. I saw you had a bunch of videos. They need more small group speaking opportunities and to perfect their signature speech. So they should be here in our emerging system. They don't get access to the conferences because they're not ready yet. And for the more experienced speaker, they get access to our podcast, our associations, the media outlets, and the conferences, right? And so this is what we call part-time price for a part-time speaker. That's not the average speaker does 5 gigs a year. So this is for the speaker that's trying to get into that 10 to 15 speaking gig range as a part-time speaker. It's $247 a month. You know, and if someone wants to pitch more, they can buy more pitches at that level. Does that make sense? But the idea is that you should be able to get, if you can't get 1 gig from us to cover the cost of this, then something's wrong, right? And if you set the pitches, we make it very clear. Here it is. This is our guarantee. It's right there. And we give you the terms of how it works. If you sent the pitches and nobody invited you on any stage after a year, I'll give you your money back, right?
That's like $3,000. If I'm spending $250 a month for a year, it's like $3,000.
Yep, which is very small when you consider you charge $12.5 per gig.
No, it
right?
is. My concern, my major concern is this, and that's like the experience from the old SpeakerHUB, which is why one of the reasons why I stopped using it is that. So there could be 2 reasons why a pitch doesn't work. One reason is that the pitch sucked, or the speaker was not a good fit, or didn't have the sufficient profile, visibility, background, whatever. So one could be directed to the speaker and the pitch itself. But the other problem could be simply because and it separates like that in two options. One, it's a cold pitch. So I don't know how you get your database with contact information, but this is still a cold pitch. It's not someone looking for you to help them, it seems to me. It's more like you're pitching and sending a bit of an email into the sea, if you will.
No, that's not. Well, let me help you there really quickly. All of our contact information comes from the calls to the speakers, right? So when they put up the conference, we go through the same Googling you all have to do, we do. And we build that database that way. And we take the email from the call to speakers, we parse that information and put it here for you guys, right? So that person put that email on the page saying, I'm looking for a speaker.
I know, but that's still a cold pitch in the sense that you have that email available publicly, and anyone who is looking to speak at that conference would pitch to that email. So you go in the inbox together with 50 or 100 or 1,000, depending on the profile of the conference itself and the budget and stuff like that.
Yep.
So some of those will be more competitive than others. It's not like you're meeting the person and then exchanging information. And my experience previously on SpeakerHUB was that I wasn't, and I don't see how you've solved that problem yet, is like I didn't see any demand on the platform itself. In other words, there's two kinds of people who book me. Either agents who have a client in a relationship who come to book me, or someone who have heard of me some other way and comes directly to me to book me, right? But those people have a budget and have an event. The issue at SpeakerHUB was that there were no active people with money to spend on the platform who were willing to pay for speakers' actual money. That was my impression. That's why my profile had 30,000 views and not a single inquiry.
I think you bring up a very good point, right? The speaking industry has changed. With virtual events, the cost of conferences going up, the speaking industry has changed. And we're doing a really good job of teaching that there's three ways to get paid for a speech. You can get paid to show up. You can get paid to sell from the stage, or you can get paid afterwards, right? And I know a lot of speakers who say, I only get paid to show up, but yet they will do a free TED Talk. So that's not completely true that they will only speak when they get paid, because they're doing free TED Talks, right?
Yeah.
So your fee is negotiated by you. That's your responsibility to understand, you know what? I should pay to get on this stage because I'm going to sell my consulting on the backside. Or I'll go do this because it's going to end up on 10 and I'm going to end up with 100,000 views and it's going to raise my stature. Money isn't the only form of currency. So I'm going to make sure that going forward, we at SpeakerHUB, we put that responsibility on you to speak for yourself and negotiate for yourself how you want to be paid. Because there are certain stages I would pay to get on. They would never have to pay me. If Jeff Bezos held a conference and everybody at Amazon they were gonna do something for speakers, I would pay him $100,000 to talk at that event, right? So it's up to me to decide that, right? But I know that the industry has changed. For those who are looking for people that are, if they're saying, I'll address it this way, because we get the question all the time, what does that event pay? My response is, I don't know. We have 45,000 conferences, so we can't talk to each one. And I've never found a call for speakers where they put the price on there. They never make the price public.
That's not the question. The question is, if you are an event organizer or a planner, right? Mm-hmm. You don't go to SpeakerHUB. That's the heart of the problem. You either go directly to the speaker that you know of, or you go to an agency to hook you up with a speaker. And nowadays, the change is you go to AI. Well, so it's one of three things. You go directly to the person, you find an intermediary like an agent with whom the speaker has a contract obligation or arrangement, or you go to ChatGPT and ask who is the best speaker, blah, blah, and they tell you.
Well, I mean, that may be true for you, but I can show you cold pitches that work. Here's a great example of it. This is a cold pitch from one of our clients. Yes, I would be happy to meet with you. We're planning our 25 annual conference right now. Here's another one. I hear what you're saying, but I have the data to show the contrary,
I like data, man. That's how you change my mind.
right? So these are cold pitches that have gone out, right? So I can pull some of these off and just show, one second, let me just pull up all like different responses from different people, right? Right? There's another one. I mean, I can keep going. There's a gang of these for different people we've worked with. And they send us messages saying, hey, thank you for the work you've done. You've helped me a lot. We're preparing for our 8th annual conference right now. Do you address the Canadian market? It's a closed door format. They didn't have to respond if they weren't interested.
Hey,
Do you
Ron,
see what I mean?
let me say something right here. I think what I may be wrong, but I think what Nicola is saying, and I agree with him, for inbound, it's probably not the right tool. But for outbound, which is what I do, I go looking for them. I think what you're saying, it's a wonderful tool. But
Yeah,
the conferences aren't going to go to SpeakerHUB to find a speaker, but through SpeakerHUB, you can use that to find them.
Yeah,
and
there's
contact
only,
them.
let me go back here. I want to share something with you because I think this helps out a lot. And this is the new and the future of what we're trying to do with SpeakerHUB. Let me pull up the right page, right? What we're trying to show is that all of those things work together. We call it the speaker flywheel. You have inbound and you have outbound. Dave, I promise you, when you send that outbound email, they click on your profile to go look at your LinkedIn or some other speaker reel that you've put out there that
Sure.
you're using for inbound already. They're not mutually exclusive, guys. They work together for the best, right? And then that person builds their profile by going on podcasts, and they get consulting clients by doing associations. And the association recommends who should we have for a speaker, and then you end up being recommended for a conference that way, right? Eventually, you get media coverage. You start being a contributor to a particular magazine or different online news publications. That's how this thing works. We've done it for thousands of speakers. This isn't new to us, right? So I'm not speaking with arrogance. I'm speaking with certainty because I have the results, right? So what you're saying may be true if you don't want to do any of these other things. If you just said inbound works this way, Nicola, you are exactly right. But Dave says I do outbound. And guess what? Dave is exactly right. And what we're saying is we do both. We can help both sides. We're going to help both sides, help people to use both of them together. Is that fair,
I
guys?
had two questions. One, you talked about the pitches. How many pitches per month are you allowed to have?
Yep. So it depends on which level you're at, right? And I'm going to bring that up here, right? So let's go down to the pricing here. And actually, it's better if I show it to you over here inside of the system because we explain all of that here. So if it's a new speaker and they're just trying to get on podcast at the beginning, we give them 40 pitches a month, which is enough to get them on 5 to 10 podcasts. That's at least 1 to 2 podcast interviews a week. If they're doing that, they're busier than they've ever been, right? If they're an emerging speaker, we know that they should be reaching out to podcasts and trying to get at least 1 to 2 local association gigs every month. 100 pitches is enough to do that because they can do the podcast, 40 to the podcast and 60 to the associations. And they'll probably be invited to 1 to 2 associations to go give a speech every single month. Is that fair?
Yeah.
On here, this is for the experienced speaker, but it's a part-time number, right? So this is the person that's saying, yeah, I want to do a few of these and a few of those, but I got a job. Like my full-time job is doing this. I just want to speak at a conference once a quarter. That's what that's for. So the person who wants to use it more, they can buy add-on pitch packs and use them however they want. They never expire. So say the 150 isn't enough, you buy extra 500 and you don't use them all this month. They roll over into the next month. Does that make sense? So it allows for this. We had to build a system that worked for speakers at all experience levels, but also at all availability levels.
So when
I can't see the 500 pitch pack. What is the price on that one?
Oh, it's
the
$247.
same price.
It's $247, but you get 500 pitches
It's
instead
like
of just the
50 cents a
150.
pitch.
Yep.
So you get 2 for $1.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to pay the 247 before you can do the 500 pitch pack?
Yep.
Okay.
Because that gives you access to everything, right? And it gives you the CRM, the open AI, it gives you all of those things, right?
So for me, this will be a kind of an experiment, right? So I'm not interested in podcasts. I'm not interested in media. I've done that already. I had the first podcast on AI in the world when it wasn't cool to be talked about AI back in 2009.
Yep.
He had 7 million downloads there. Don't feel like doing it anymore. Now I just look for paid clients or paying clients. That's how I measure it.
Yep.
So let's say I dip my toes in the water and I do, okay, 250 for a month and then another 500 pitch pack on top of that. That's $500. Okay, $500 should give me 650 pitches.
Yep.
And that means for those 650 pitches, I will have to go manually kind of do what you showed us, right?
Yep. But it takes 30 seconds per pitch, right?
Right, because the AI writes the pitch for you, provided
Yep.
you've done your homework on your profile.
Yep.
So I have to update my profile because I haven't touched it in maybe 3 years or something.
But it'll be new. When you sign up with here, it's new. The AI will write a new bio for you here. So
Oh, that's automated. That's nice.
that's what we just saw. You remember I did that for Dave.
Yeah.
Right.
That was automated. The AI wrote this based on the description that he gave me here.
Right. Okay, and so I send 650 of these. Let's say I use it for the next 30 days. That would give me what, 20 per day. Let's say 22 per
Yep.
day. So every day in the morning, I put in 45 minutes, 2 minutes a pitch, 45 minutes, 22 a day are out. At the end of the month, I'm going to count how many actual potential leads, like for paying clients I got, because some of the ones that you showed me, they're working. I saw that they were showing they were actually free gigs. So I'm not interested in that. And I understand there will be a large portion of them who are interested in you, but they don't have a budget. So then they start talking about the value of being on their stage and production value and this and that, which I'm not interested in. So let's say out of the 650 pitches, I will need to, if I get even like 1 gig at my price range, I'm happy. I'm singing. Like,
so let me ask you this. I want to ask a counter question. Right?
Sure.
At what expense is it a bad deal? So if you spent $2,000 and you got a $12,000 gig, is that the worst deal ever?
No, I'm fine with it.
So here's what I would suggest. Use this for a year. Give it some time. Figure it out. Because it doesn't seem like you've done a lot of cold pitching. Maybe you have, but I don't know. Right?
No, I haven't.
Right. So you're gonna have to get good at it. You're gonna have to learn to do it and get better. Dave will explain to you. It doesn't work right out of the box if you're brand new. The AI will help you, but you gotta work on, how you're presenting, what you're presenting, how do you select the right customers. There's a lot of assumptions on who can pay and who can't pay. That's gonna hurt you, right? You just gotta be able to get on the phone with people and be the salesperson for your business, right? Because I've heard a lot of organizations that have said, we don't pay speakers, right? And then I said, oh man, dude, I was gonna send Barack Obama. Well, no, Barack Obama he'll come to our thing. And it's like, oh, I thought you didn't pay, right? So it's really, people pay for who they wanna pay for, right? So I think you gotta give it a chance. It can't just be, I'm gonna try it for a month. I would just tell you, don't use it, right? In the same way, if I said, I'm going to try being a public speaker for a month and I've never spoken before, you'd be like, dude, why? You're not even going to be good enough in a month.
My concern is that a year is a big commitment on my time, and there may be, high opportunity cost given the other alternatives that I can use for my time. And the reason why I haven't had to cold pitch in the past is because I had the first podcast in the world on AI. People come to me to ask me to go to their conferences. And so there's a demand for me already. I don't have to go chase it. I mean, it's not gargantuan demand. I'm not Barack Obama, but I make a living. I make a couple $100,000 a year easily. So, so the question then is this worth investing my time in? Because you're asking for a year. That's a big commitment, high opportunity cost. And the other question is, what are the alternatives? And from my point of view, as someone who deals with AI, why can't I use, for example, ChatGPT to go do the same stuff that you're doing, right? Because I'm paying for ChatGPT already. I'm paying for a bunch of Perplexity, Claude, all the other ones, and I'm using all 3 or 4 of them, right? So because what seems that you're doing, guys, which is smart in a way, but is also kind of my question is like you're being the AI. So you're connecting the customer, potential customer, with the potential speaker. And you're making money on the membership or the monthly fees or whatever, which is legit. I don't have any problem giving you $2,000 if you give me a $12,500 client. I'm paying that much to my agent. That's perfectly fair to me. So it's not an issue of pricing. The issue is if I can do the same kind of discovery with ChatGPT, why would I be doing it with you? You know what I'm saying? Because
I've never, I got it. I totally get it. I've never done it with ChatGPT. I don't know the tech stack that you're using. So if you're using it and it's work, keep doing it. Keep doing it, man. I mean, if you found something that's already working, keep using it. But if you haven't found something that's working, we present to you SpeakerHUB Pro because we know it works. If there's some uncertainty about what you can do with ChatGPT and you haven't proven it to work, I'm going to suggest us because I've proven this to work. But if you have something that's already working and it's costing you $60 a month and you don't have to, you've already connected it and all of that, do that. Keep doing it and we'll be friends still. We'll still be friends. We won't delete your profile. We'll still be friends.
You're very kind and generous.
And hey, Ron, the other question I have is this. I know it does the initial email. Are there any, does it set up sequences for you at all where you send out 3 or 4 emails at a time?
Yeah. So we don't do it automated because we don't trust AI to do automated emails on its own. We want to make sure that you all can follow up on your own. So like if you click here, it says Brent, I click follow up to Brent. The CRM function is here for me to see my previous email that I sent to him, but I can mark if I got a response. And when I click follow up, you'll see it's going to go ahead and write a follow-up email to Brent, right? So the AI looks at the previous email and writes a follow-up to them, right? Hey, I wanted to follow up with you, wanted to check regarding my previous message, right? So it's not just out in the woods. Does that make sense, Dave? Did that answer?
So you can't set up a 4 email sequence where you send out the first pitch email, then you say, hey, I just want to make sure this didn't get buried. And then the next one is,
no, because if the person's replied back to you, you've met with them, then it just keeps going.
But I mean, if you don't get a reply, you
right,
can't.
But right now, until January, we don't track that, right? So we don't know if someone replied back to you or things of that sort. That's up to you to come in and to update that status.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So it really won't do an automated sequence.
No, there's no automation. The only automation is the writing. But again, the writing and those things, 20 minutes a day. I wish I could build our business off of 20 minutes a day. Right? I would own 30 businesses if I only had to dedicate 20 minutes to sales every day. Right? But this allows for you to get in and to know who you're talking to and to be able to follow up with those who need to be followed up with. Right? What are you using currently, Dave? Are you just using Gmail now?
I use Cell.
What's that?
Zendesk Cell.
Okay, no, I haven't seen it. I want to pull that up. I'm always trying to learn stuff. And we can open this up to questions, guys, if anyone else has. And it's called Cell.
Well, it's Zendesk, and then the portion I use is a thing called Cell.
And products. Oh, Zendesk Sales. Is that it?
No, it's SELL. I don't know how, I haven't gone in there so long because I already have it set up, but they've probably
Gotcha.
changed everything.
And where do you get your data from?
I scrape a lot of it myself.
Okay.
I go and I also work with, what is this, Sam Richter? Are you familiar with Sam?
Yep. Sam Richter has a tail engine.
So he has a lot of information that you can go and find events, find associations, things like that. And Nikolov is right. It's a lot of work. That's why I came to your email, because if I could cut down my time.
So here's the cool thing that you can do. I know a lot of people go out and they buy lists, or they have lists that they've already created. You can always upload those leads. They're yours. They're not ours. You can upload those CSV files and use AI to pitch those. You can search through them. Let's say I wanted to find things that were on basketball. Probably don't even have any basketball leads in here. None. Let's put sports. These are the leads I uploaded, right? My own private CSV file. And
Is there a filter? There is no filter for paid ones, right?
there's no filter for paid because people get paid before, during, and after. I don't believe in free speech. I believe every speaking gig is paid. Just depends on how you want to be paid, right? But yeah, you
And the
can
reason I was
see.
asking that, like in Cell, I can set up a 7 email sequence. And then once
Yeah.
I get it going, I don't touch it.
Yeah,
Until
that's a bit
I can even
different.
set up the last one can say something like, evaluate this sequence. And it lets me
Yeah.
know, hey, they opened them, if they so that's important to me, just to be able to save so much time, not having to recreate or write another email or send another email. It will do it for me.
I think this is a great conversation, especially with Dave and Nicola. You all are probably two of the most technical people that we have in SpeakerHUB. A lot of our users are over the age of 55. They don't even have a CRM. So to give them all these other things and say connect all of these different things, I'm like, no, our market is the folks that don't have all of that stuff, who are looking for a simple way to get on more stages, right? But if you already have the tech stack, we're probably not as advanced as the current tech stack that you're using, but we're great for that person who doesn't understand how to connect to API and Zapier and all of this other stuff.
Well,
right?
the other thing you could be good for, even someone like myself, is if you have that many conferences or events listed, and I can even learn to use your system to contact them through my sequences.
Yeah, so I can show you that. We actually have that built in, but it's in a very non-technical way. Right? So when I come over here and I go to settings and I go to email, you can BCC and add them to any other CRM. So you can put in an automatic BCC that will put it into Zendesk, and it will put them on a follow-up campaign automatically on your own. So we thought about that, but we needed to be sure that we didn't forget our non-technical users.
So when you put in your information, what kind of speaker you are, and those events or those associations come up, I can just see the list there that comes up that meets that criteria, right? Even if I don't want to contact them, I can see them come up.
Yep, you can see them come up, but once you contact them, you can put them automatically in follow-up systems in your external CRM.
Okay. And does it show their contact information, or does it just show?
Yep, we give you all that. We give you all of their information. You get the email address and all of that when it shows up. You have to set up Zapier or whoever to parse that, but we added the BCC so that you can have that, right? And if you don't want to spend the time doing it yourself, you can add a team member that can hop in and send on your behalf. If you're like, hey, I would rather have a VA do it.
Okay. All right, well,
Makes
great.
sense?
And right now, what is you said something about there's what do you get, a week or 30 days to try it? What is it?
Yeah, so it's a 7-day trial, right? And the reason why we do a 7-day trial is most people, you're going to get a response back for a speaking gig probably in 45 days. And there's no way we can do a 45-day trial, right? So we're like, look, hop in. You're trying out the functionality, right? We give you a year to use it. If you don't get any results, we give you a refund. I think that that's fairer than anything else that's out there. Sam Richter, I've used this thing. He don't give you any refunds. You pay your $40. If you don't use those Google searches, who cares, right? He just kicks you off of his platform. I'm okay with that. I respect what he's built. He doesn't make any guarantees. There's no automation with Sam Richter's program. It's a Google search, right? So I understand that there's a bunch of competition out there, but you got to hold them to the same standard, right? Hold them to the same standard you're asking us to be held to, because they're not doing those things. I know our competition, right?
No,
How
I
about-
understand. It all depends on what you're wanting to do. That's I guess my
Yep.
thing.
Yeah, and again, our target audience is really the person, this probably will be their first time using ChatGPT or their first CRM or their first time using cold data. They don't need a bunch of complexity. We're trying to simplify it for them. Most speakers are a one-man show just trying to get their feet wet.
Sure. I get it.
But high five to you guys. You guys would be great clients of ours, right? Because you already understand what's going on. But if it doesn't make sense, I'm okay to bow out, you know?
No, and I can see how if you're just starting, it can be useful for you to get on podcasts, to get on media, to get on free stages or stages where you don't get paid in money, but you paid in other ways. That's fine. And of course, if I get invited to do a TED Talk, I'm going to do that for free, obviously, like everyone else. So yes, there are all those exceptions because you don't get paid always in money. That's a valid point. But most of the time, I do get paid in money nowadays, and I do other speeches for charity and stuff every once in a while too, or causes I support. But that's another story. But the thing is, so good on you for doing that for those people. That's good on you. Now for us though, and me and Dave are kind of hard on you here. I'm probably worse.
Oh,
Anyway.
I've been in worse fights, guys. You're not. I'm not afraid of it. I've
Well,
answered these questions 1,000 times.
It's a fight already. That says a lot.
No,
No, I don't mean to be that way. I just had some. I thought we were.
No. These are great questions. I'm not. It's not confrontational at all. Ange will tell you. I answer these questions all the time because I don't think you can build a tool for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask you. This. So what about the other option where you had the $3,000 a month? And how many leads would you try on that and stuff? Because I'm even happy to consider that as an option, because if you're telling me I have to commit, $250 a month for a year, it's still 3,000, but it's not the thousands, it's the time I'm going to have to put in.
Yep.
So that may be expensive for me more than the money, for example.
So on the done for you side, it's $3,000 a month. It's a 6-month commitment. It can be paid monthly, right? We reach out to 1,000 opportunities for you every month with follow-ups, right? So we're going to reach out to 1,000 conferences with follow-ups. In order for us to make sure that that you would be the right fit, we got to find at least 6,000 conferences for you, right? So we want to make sure there's enough opportunity, whether you talk on leadership or AI or different things, we got to find 6,000 that work for you, right? Not 6,000, 3,000 over here, but these would be better for Dave, but they're really not the right ones for Nicola. No, we got to find the ones that work for you. And then we do that outreach on your behalf and we follow up with them. And if after 6 months, there has been nothing, we continue to do it for you until we get you a gig.
Well, that's kind of, so the commitment here is then minimum 6 months. And what worries me in this case is that the math doesn't work for me. So if I charge 12.5 and I'm risking 18, then the risk versus reward ratio is kind of out of whack. If I was at the $30,000 range, obviously the numbers could be in my favor, but I'm not yet. So, and that's why the other one in terms of money is kind of like not a problem. It's the time. This one, the money is kind of starting to get considerable. I'm happy to try maybe for a month or something and see if it works. And then if you get me one gig, obviously we can deal.
I understand. I think that that's a great offer, but here's what I know. The speakers that we worked with, and we had 300 of them that we worked with, that I showed you the data, the emails from, right? Those individuals, they were going to hire a VA anyway. And they had a choice between hiring a VA that they needed to train and hiring us that they didn't need to train. the VA didn't offer to work for free. The VA had never sent any pictures before. Do you see what I mean? So to that group, this is the right value prop. I can't chop it in half to go this route so that someone can try it. I think you should keep doing what you're doing or hire a VA, and it'll be cheaper for them to hop in and use our system. So a VA plus our system may be the solution for you.
Well, my wife helps me a lot, and she actually has a higher closing rate than I do because she's 10 times better than
There you go. Give her the system, man.
Yeah, my closing rate when I talk to clients is about 30%. Hers is about 42%. So yeah, she's much better than me. Yeah, okay, well, I'll consider that.
I mean, look, give it a try. You got 7 days to try it out. Go in and see if it makes sense. See what your wife thinks. If she thinks, yo, this is something I can do, then keep doing it. If not,
Hey, Nicola, I just think you should ask Dr. Sharon over there to pray for you so you can understand which way you should go.
I don't know if that was a fair joke, but
no,
yeah.
no. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all in good humor. Nobody's here to be offensive. Dr.
Yeah.
Sharon, she's
No.
great. She's a great speaker. I'm glad to see her in her office today. So her prayers work. her prayers definitely work. You know,
I appreciate your time, Ron. I'm gonna take off. I will tell you that Sonny Melendres guy, be careful. He's a DJ here in San Antonio. If he gets to talking, he'll never be quiet.
DJ Sonny Melendres.
Yeah, I know him. He's a good guy.
Sonny, nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you for everything, guys. I hope I didn't monopolize your time either.
No, it's
I
all good.
appreciate the frank
These are
conversation.
questions. This is what it's about. It's about coming in and asking questions.
Thank
And anyone who was here, they had the opportunity to ask their questions too. So
You're
And
very
I'm gonna take a
gracious.
peek. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, very gracious and very genuine, and just you're clearly wanting to help and give. Thank you.
no problem. I look forward to helping you guys.
Bye-bye.
Sonny, what's up, man? You got any questions? He may not be there. Dr. Sharon, how are you doing?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Hey, Sonny, how's it going?
I echo his comments. You've been very helpful, very genuine, and I love your style.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How can I help?
Well, no, I'm with Dave and also with Nicola. It's really a combination of all the things together, and nothing takes the place of our participation. There is no automation. You can't just put something in there and let it do it on its own. We have to have a part in it, and that's, I think, what you've been talking about. And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I wouldn't be on this call. I would sit my AI do it, and then I would just go and do something else.
Exactly. Exactly.
But we got to do the work. You got to build the business, and I think we have to be examples of that. That's why I hop on these calls every day. If you ever have any questions or comments on how to use the system, or do you have a SpeakerHUB Pro account, Sonny?
I do. Not a pro account, but I do have a speaker. I do have an account. I'm on the system, but I will definitely consider what you've talked about.
Yeah. Did you see how this works? Were you on when we did the demo of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No,
Perfect.
it's very impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think the simplicity of being able to come in and to write emails that, that make it easy for you to get in on the stage, right? So people tell me all the time, I want to get paid to speak, but this guy, I don't know if you ever heard of him. I'm going to show you a guy who is pretty well known as a speaker. And when he released his book in February of this year, in January and February, he did 250 podcast episodes, interviews. In 2 months, he did 240 podcast interviews, right? Why would the world's greatest speaker, Tony Robbins, be doing podcasts? Because that's where the people are. The world used to be controlled by megaphones, NBC, CBS, Fox, and the radio. Now it's controlled by microphones. It's controlled by these small audiences where you can get in and have a huge impact. President Trump, the candidate for the election, did a podcast interview with Joe Rogan the other day. I think it's at 60 million views.
Right.
in 3 days, right? Podcasts are where people are. If you think of your top 5 speakers, I guarantee you've never heard all 5 of them live and in person. You've heard them on a radio or on podcast or some other form. So I don't know why speakers just want to stay on podcasts. I mean, just want to stay on the live stage. When you build the entire business, only 30% of your revenue should be coming from live performances.
I agree. I agree. There's so many platforms. I also write articles. I have a radio show. And so all these.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get it. Anything else, guys? We're at the 1 hour mark. If there are any other questions, we usually go into overtime. I know Dr. Sharon, she was on here being a referee during our heated discussion about technical uses, but our platform isn't for the people that are super technical. It's for the average person who is wanting to get results. And we got to make it easy so everybody feels comfortable using it. So any questions, Dr. Sharon? Okay, cool. Well, it's good to see you in your office. It means a lot.